Hello everyone, Gaynor here from HDB Upgrading Strategies, and welcome back to my Facebook Live episode 40. Right? So actually today is actually a new series, which is Ask Gaynor. So actually, in fact, over the months or years, stuff like that, I always gather a lot of different kind of questions, stuff like that. And I was just thinking that probably I can collate all the different questions, and actually I can bring it out in terms of this Facebook Live, and also try my best to answer you guys as well. Right, but before I start, can I just check with you guys if you all can hear me loud and clear? Right, just want to make sure that everything is working, right? And by the way, if let's say you guys have any questions, like you have probably some of the property related questions that you want to ask me, feel free, right? You can just let me know. You can PM me, or probably you can also put a comment there. And if we have the time, or I have the time, probably I can also answer in this session, or else I will actually bring it to another different session, right? Whereby it will be another series as well, right? Which is also, whereby I will try my best to help you guys to answer. Okay. Hello everyone. Hello Eugene. Hello Tristan. All right. So welcome back everyone to my Facebook Live. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Joe. You can hear me loud and clear. So without further ado, probably I will start, right? Now, the first thing first, I just want to share with you guys that if let's say you guys have also other property related questions, because each time, every session, I will probably answer 2 or 3 questions. And for today, probably I'll answer 2 commonly asked questions, right? And if you guys have any other further questions, right, you can just send your message here through my Facebook page, or probably can, if there are other means, you can connect with me as well. And if I think that this is probably something that's worth for me to probably bring it up so that I can share with everyone, I think that would be perfect as well. So it's a very good two-way flow, right? You give me some questions, and probably I will answer you guys as well. Okay, so just go to my Facebook page. Is for those who have not liked my page or follow my page, please do so. You can probably just go there to click like and click follow, which is also just at the page there, you can see, right? Else you can go to the send message as well. Okay, so now we come to one of the most common questions asked, right? One of it is actually, Gaynor, I've been following your posts, I've been thinking to upgrade, but my current house loan, stuff like that. So it's about upgrading, right, from HDB to buy a private, and this one is also the same, Fernvale, someone has a Fernvale flat and probably want to get for a property investment and want to upgrade as well. And same like on this, right, the other one who probably wants to meet me, for the HDB and also for investment, right? So that's why, what is the one of the most commonly questions, right? Should I upgrade my HDB and buy a private property now? And why I highlight the word now is because I think, especially during this COVID-19 situation, right? In fact, I have done a Facebook Live episode, I really forget, live episode, I think probably 37 or 36, whereby I also did share about during this COVID-19, whether will you guys buy a property investment now. And I think in that live, I covered quite a lot of detail. But for this question, right, for this particular question, I actually want to summarize it and make it easier for you guys to understand, right? And I think that would be really very useful and beneficial as well. Okay, so the question number 1 is, should I upgrade HDB and buy private now, especially during this COVID-19 situation? Right, for me, I think I actually can bring it down to 2 very important factors. 2 very important factors, right? And by the way, if let's say you guys have any further while I'm doing this live, right, and as I move along, if you guys have any questions, and probably when I did mention something and you feel that, hey, we want to bring out something, or you want to let me know, can just put it there so that I can see the comment section, and also I can answer you from there as well. Okay, So two very important factors that we need to consider, especially if would you want to sell your HDB and upgrade to a private property now, as in during this current situation, right? So one very important factor is you need to understand your current state, right? So what is the current state? So current state later I will actually elaborate, but it's actually currently what you guys are thinking as in a family, or what is your objectives, stuff like that, right? That will be current state. And another one thing will be opportunity, right? Opportunity is very easy for you to understand, is whether do you have an opportunity now to buy a private property, or that you feel that is good for investment. So I think these two are really very important factors that you need to consider, right? Which is your current state and also the opportunity. Okay, so I talk a little bit about this current state, right? Now, current state, the first thing is objectives, right? Objectives, which is, are you buying it for own stay or investment? And I think this is very important. I actually did cover this objectives during some of my Facebook live episodes, right? So stay on investment. So for example, you actually want to, your current state is that you want to upgrade because of the objectives that you want to buy another place for own stay, or probably you want to shift to another place, or probably you really want to focus in buying an investment property, right? And another thing is also, one of the objectives is maybe because you want to go nearer to your kids' school, right? Because you probably just want to stay within one click, that kind of thing. So these are the objectives that maybe is running through your mind, your current state, right? Which is probably also one of the objective is maybe traveling from work. I have one of the client that is staying in Punggol, and every day he needs to travel to Jurong to work, right? But he can't do anything because he's still being binded by this 5 years MOP period, right? So this is really a big headache, right? And that's why, what is your objective, right? Is it because you want to shift much nearer to your workplace, much nearer to your kids' school, for your kids' registration, stuff like that? Or probably you are buying a property for your stay or for your investment. So these are the objectives. Another one more very important factor is finances, right? And finances, I'm not talking about affordability, although affordability is definitely one of it, but I'm talking about job security, right? So your current state, you have to understand whether is your job during this situation, is it stable? For example, if I dare to probably say, I think currently all the government service, like those regulars, or probably teachers, stuff like that. So these are the sectors that I think, in terms of job security, I think they are still very safe, right? Whereas versus if you are in other industry, right? You're working in other industry, then probably you might worry whether in terms of your job security, would you be affected, right? Moving forward, as of now, it's like that because we don't know when COVID-19 this situation will end. So it can, let's hope not, but there's a possibility that it might drag a little bit further, right? But of course, we really pray that it doesn't happen. But if let's say it really has, then you might worry in terms of which industry, which sector you are working at, and how does it really affect you, right? So that's why you need to understand the objectives, you need to understand your finances. If let's say your job security, you know that you're very confident, hey, I don't think this current situation will affect me, then of course your current state will be in a very good condition for you to think whether you should upgrade. But however, if you're not confident, that means you feel that you might be affected, right? 2-person, husband and wife working, one can be affected, then probably you might not be at the right state for you to think about upgrading, right? So these are important things, right? Okay. Now the next thing, of course, we have to look into opportunity, right? Opportunity. So what do I mean by opportunity? Opportunity, for example, you must have an understanding of whether there's this overall market. How do you feel? Is it a good time for you to invest? Is it a good time for you to upgrade to buy a private property? Because these are very important, you see. And from HDB to upgrade to a private, we are talking about big ticket item, right? That means you want to buy a $1 million property, right? And of course, you want to invest in a property that actually at least the value maintains, if not should be increased, right? You don't want to put your hard-earned money into a private property of $1 million, and at the end of the day, the value actually didn't really increase, or probably worse, it dropped. So you need to understand an overall market, right? But the problem is a lot of people form a generalization of this overall market just by looking at it, right? For example, I give you an example. Let's say now current situation, right? There will most likely be quite a number of people who probably think that this situation, maybe I should not invest. Maybe I should not upgrade. Maybe I should wait, right? So these are the things that some will form a generalization, right? No right, no wrong. At the end, it depends on how you feel about the whole thing, right? But of course, for me, I think that is very important. Two factors. You either look at the overall market, but I think you really need to look at the specific details as well. What do I mean by specific details? Is that even if, let's say, the market is very good, right? And a lot of people probably, I think, as in good as in the market peak, right? So there is a lot of fear in people to invest because, you know, if you buy at a very high price, probably when it goes down, then you are greatly affected. Does it mean that you should not invest, right? So I think that we have to break it down to understand the specific details, meaning to say we have to study, we have to analyze to see whether even if the market now is like that, can we still buy, rather than straight away you just take away this idea and you just look at the overall market, and then you determine whether should you buy or you should not buy. Because I personally feel that we have to go one level down to really understand and focus and see and whether we can study and analyze it, right? I just want to give you an example about what I mean by opportunity, right? So I always use this, right? This is the Singapore Property Price Index, and if you really see, this is actually happened in 2013. I'm not too sure whether is it big enough, but this peak is actually in 2013, right? So if let's say you are currently at 2013 and you look at the overall market, right? And a lot of times, if you really see from the 2013, the prices actually went up. Then after that, it go all the way down, right? So if you are at the 2013 peak, the question is, would you buy or would you not buy, right? So if let's say you just look at the two factors that I mentioned and you think that, you know, you get the general market, and then overall market, you see that, hey, you know, I wouldn't want to buy the property right now. Why? Because it's it's already at its peak, right? So you will not invest, right? But however, there will be some people that probably, you know, although they look at the overall market, but they also look at, they go one level down to really study the specific details, right? To see whether, hey, I do some comparison. I'm really very interested in this property, right? So I want to do some comparison. Am I really right that I should not invest or I should invest? You know, stuff like that. Okay, so I just want to give you an example of this overall market. So a lot of people probably will think that, hey, I should not invest during this period of time. I just want to give you this example, right? There are two projects. One is Live on Sophia and one is Onze at Tanjong Pagar, right? So both actually is transacted. That means there are buyers who buy in 2013. So you can really see in 2013, one is in June, one is in October. So probably just 4-5 months of difference, right? However, right, the purchase price is also roughly around there, similar, $2,400 per square foot, and the other one is 2,500. Actually, plus minus doesn't make a big difference, right? But one lose money and one make money. So from this example, you will see that even at any point of time, right? At any point of time, it can be a very high market. It can be a market that we are not too sure whether is it the right time to buy. But if we go another level down, which is we study the specifics, right? You will see that given the same opportunity, right? Same amount of price, right? Or same amount of a budget that you have, you can invest in a property that probably will not make money. Or you can probably study and invest in a property that can make money, right? So you really have to balance things out and understand where we are coming from, right? That's why opportunity is different, because opportunity to everyone is very subjective. Some will think that it's a good opportunity. Some people will think that it's not a good opportunity. So it really depends on how you study and how you understand overall property market before you actually take a step to do the investment, right? If you guys so far understand where I'm coming from. If you can, I would really, really appreciate, because this is a Facebook Live, you can help me to like, you can give me some comments. The best is you can, at this point of time, if you're watching, just help me to press the share button, and you can also create a watch party as well. And I hope that this, this sharing of mine can also greatly, you can also, share with all your friends, and they can also understand where I'm coming from as well. All right, so really thankful. So the question is, should I upgrade HDB and buy a private property right now, right? So once again, I have to repeat, we have to look under two current factors, two very important factors, which is your current state and the opportunity, right? Current state, which is your family, what is your planning, what is your finances, and also touch on a very important thing, which is the job security, right? So you yourself will know whether are you in the right industry, whereby your industry will be okay, will be stable, stuff like that. So the thing is that you can be in a very good state, but you feel that the opportunity right now is not available. Then of course, then you have to study whether should you need to take the path. Now what I mean by this, meaning to say, financially probably you are earning decent, right? You have the means, you have the finances to upgrade, but you just feel that right now there are not much opportunities for you to explore. Then of course, if let's say you are currently having these thoughts, then the question is, should you upgrade HDB and buy private? Then of course you might want to take a much slower pace to understand more, right? And one thing I also need to understand, if let's say you feel that opportunity is good right now, the question is to explore, but not equals to you must buy, right? The thing is that a lot of people probably just stop there. They did not really explore, all right? But I think that it's important to explore, because explore does not mean that you have to buy. Explore means understand your options, see where you are going. At the end of the day, after you do some analysis, and if you feel that it's not right, then of course, by all means, don't have to commit as well, right? Or probably your current state, right? You see, the current state of yours is maybe you just find very fearful. Maybe you're not currently affected by the jobs situation. You know that you're okay, but you're also fearing that, few months down the road, my sector, my industry may not be doing well, and you are just afraid that your pay, you probably will suffer a huge pay cut, right? So that's why what I meant is that you need to understand your current state. And if your current state now is not favorable, right, then even if the opportunities out there are very good, right, the thing is that would you want to take an action, right? This is important for you to really balance this up, stuff like that. Of course, at the end of the day, if let's say your current state, that means you know yourself that you are actually in a good situation, everything is good, right? And you also know that the opportunities out there right now is good, right? Then of course, it really depends on whether you want to explore further, right? This is important. Of course, at the end of the day, I just want to say one thing. Buying the right properties is extremely important. It depends on a lot of factors before you can make a good decision as well, right? But for today, what I want to say is that should you upgrade and buy private, I think I just want to summarize two very important things, which is understand your current state, which is now your family, whether are you good to go, and then also looking into what are the opportunities you can explore, right? If let's say the opportunities are not good, then of course by all means you probably may not need to proceed further, right? Stuff like that. Okay, so far you guys are catching along well. If you guys are, please probably give me some likes, some comments, and I think I will greatly appreciate as well, right? And I'll be proceeding to my next question as well, right? I'll be proceeding my next question. Now, so this is the question number 2. I think this is also a highly debatable question, right? Should I use my CPF to quickly pay off my outstanding loan? Should I use my CPF to quickly pay off my outstanding loan? Right? And I think this is something really very common. A lot of people, if you guys are watching, Maybe can I ask you guys a question? If let's say you personally feel that yes, I should use my CPF to quickly pay off, probably you can just type a yes. But if let's say you feel no, maybe you can give me a no, so that I know whether you guys, where are you guys? At least I can have a good understanding as well, right? Okay. Now, so these are, oh, very good. Someone say no, leverage it. No to question 2. Wow, that's good. A lot of people seems to be saying no, no, no. Oh, fantastic, right? But probably I will just further highlight as well. So these are some of the clients that actually send me text messages to ask me about whether should I use CPF to pay, or my outstanding loan, right? Stuff like that. So that's why I think that this is also one of the questions I want to highlight as well. Right? So probably I would just want to give you to understand what is the problem now, right? So the problem is you want to buy a property, right? Very good. I see that a lot of people are saying no. Yes, that's good. But I'll further elaborate, okay? Now, so the thing is that now you're buying a property, right? And you're about to take a loan, right? And the thing is that you probably, let's say we just take an example, you need to take a $1 million loan, just an example. And a lot of us fear one thing, right? We fear the thing is that we need to pay so much of interest, right? I think that is really something that is really very common. For example, for me, when I never even talk about property investment, when I just had my first HDB flat, during that point of time when I buy my flat, my mindset is I need to quickly pay off my loan. And I'm very sure that a lot of us been through this as well, because we have not really come into that stage to buy a property to invest, right? We probably just own our first property, and our mindset is that we need to pay a lot of interest, right? That's why we want to quickly pay off our loan, right? So that's why the first thing first is that we will actually look at our CPF OA balance, and with that, because we want to be debt free, right? We want to be debt free, and that's why we don't want to be worried about interest, and that is the reason why we will quickly, some homeowners would want to quickly use the CPF funds to actually pay off the loan, right? So that is the thing, that is the problem, right? And I think in this, I'll probably just want to share with you guys some example which I'm going to draw. So the question is that let's say today you have CPF money in your ordinary account, right? Probably you have $500,000, right? And this is your OA account, right? So I just want to ask you guys one thing. In the OA, if today you put in if you have this amount of money in your ordinary account, what is the interest that you are earning right now? Anyone knows can give me, just type in the answer. Right? Anyone can hit the jackpot? What is the interest of the CPF if for you to put inside your ordinary account? No one? Probably I just put Okay, so you will be earning 2.5% interest. So if you have $500,000 in your ordinary account and you do nothing, that means 500,000 inside, you will earn 2.5% interest, right, per annum. Okay, now the thing is that, yes, correct, there's this, I know there's this staggered like first 40, first 50 or something like that, right? I know that there's this, then you earn slightly more, then subsequently there will be 2.5, stuff like that. Very good, thank you so much for you guys for the participation, right? So let's say today this scenario is that you have 500,000 in your OA, right? But maybe now you want to buy a property, and the property probably worth or probably is 1/million, and you need to take a loan of $1/million loan, and this is your property. This is your property. Sorry, I cannot draw a very nice property, but this is a property, right? And you'll be getting a loan of this. So every month you will need to pay bank interest, right? Now the question is because you don't want to pay the interest, and that's why a lot of people will want to choose to put this $500,000 to reduce the loan. So now you are probably only paying 500,000 in terms of loan because you have already cleared the other half of the 500,000 using your CPF, and you only think that I will need to pay the bank interest of $500,000, right? So a lot of people will think in that manner. But the question is, today, if whatever CPF money that you have used to put inside your property, the biggest question is, you have a 2.5%, who is going to pay you back this 2.5% that you have used, right? That is critical because whatever funds in the ordinary account that you have used to pay for your property, they will earn interest as well. Why? So the question is, why does this happen, right? Because the government wants, we must understand a very important factor is that government wants CPF money in our ordinary account to always increase. That's why there's a forced 2.5% of interest rate. Why? Because we must understand the very important thing about why you use CPF is because, why you have CPF is mainly because of retirement, right? And you have to understand that your age is this age. You will take maybe another 20, 30 years or 40 years for you to retire, right? And if you only have 200 or 500,000 in your CPF and if it doesn't grow, then this money will probably may not be enough for you to retire 20 to 30 years down the road. That's why there's this interest to continue to have in order for the value to go back, right? But the thing is that if you have to pay this 2.5% interest, this amount of interest eats into where? It actually eats into the profits of your property. This is your property. It actually eats into the profits. So it's very, very, very important that you need to understand that your property, you need to understand that the value of the property has to go up to beat the interest of the 2.5. So if let's say the value of the property doesn't goes up, then you have a big issue because then you will run into this thing called negative sale, right? You will run into this thing called negative sale. And that's why what is the best practices? In fact, if you ask me, right? If you have $500,000, right? I rather have your $500,000 in your OA account, right? To earn the 2.5%. And because you have a loan of 1 million, and you have monthly, probably you have to pay 3,000, just an example, 3,500, right? I rather you use your CPF every month to just deduct this 3,500 to pay off your loan, whereas you still have that 400 plus because you have to keep on paying every month 3,500, 3,500, 3,500, so you have 400 plus thousand, and I rather you have this 400 plus thousand to stay put in your ordinary account to earn this 2.5% interest. And that's why I think this is one of the best practice, which I personally also use it as well. So you don't have to quickly, some people probably they will quickly want to use your CPF money to quickly pay off their loan, but actually it is not necessary, right? And I tell you something that probably I want to bring it up. This is one of quite a number of my clients that also met this problem as well. Now, today if you have $100,000 to $200,000 of CPF, right, and you quickly pay off your loan, you left your CPF with zero, right? Am I right to say that? Then the question is, if today you want to buy an EC, right? You want to buy an EC, example, and because you probably just want to clear off your HDB loan, but you have an opportunity to buy EC. Now EC, you have to pay first 5% cash plus another 15% down payment CPF. But the problem is what? You don't have enough CPF in your ordinary account because you have already used so much to pay off your loan. At the end of the day, when you want to buy the EC, what you need to do? You need to sell your HDB, You need to sell your property so that the CPF money can come in so that you can use that money to then pay the down payment for the EC, right? But the question is that if let's say you have the CPF in your OA, you just monthly use to pay your installments, at the end of the day, you still can use this CPF ordinary account, the amount to pay off the down payment of your EC, right? You get where I'm coming from? I think this is important because this we are talking about the flexibility, right? Which I met a lot of clients who wanted to upgrade to a private or EEC. They have this issue, and because why they don't want to sell the HDB flat is because their EC is still building. Now they are being forced to sell and they have to stay somewhere, right? Just to release the funds from the sale of the HDB flat, stuff like that. So this is something really very important. I think keeping the money in your CPF ordinary account is very good because it gives you the flexibility and it also earns you interest as well. Okay, so I hope I probably covered this CPF part, this question about whether should I use my CPF to quickly pay off my outstanding loan, and I hope that I can actually address this question, right, for you guys, right? And probably I come to the end of this Facebook live. I already covered this first two questions, which is should I sell my HDB and buy a private, right? Of course, at the end of the day, what I want to say is that there's no right, no wrong. It really depends. You have to look on the two important factors, which is the first factor and the second factor. The first is probably the understand your current state, right? Your current state, your family, your objectives, stuff like that, and also understand what are the opportunities out there. So long as you can balance things up, you understand where you're coming from, then I think that you're good to go. But if you feel that you're not ready, then of course by all means you should not commit, right? Take a slower pace is fine, right? I'd rather you take a slower pace, buy something that is right, or then rather you quickly commit to a property and at the end you probably might have bought the wrong one as well. Okay. And the second thing is whether should you use your CPF funds to pay off your outstanding loan. I probably give you the issue and I also address it, and I also think that would be the good practice is to just use your monthly installment and just clear, right? Use your monthly, let's say your monthly installment is 3,000 plus, and then you just use your CPF money to slowly deduct. I think that would be good because first you need to earn interest in your OA, and you also have the flexibility to have that CPF money inside that probably you might want to use it to buy another property and you don't need to sell your current property first, right? So with that, thank you so much. If you guys have any further questions, probably you can, so far I didn't see. Thank you so much. So all of you probably will know that what is the CPF interest, 2.5. I think Vanessa, probably you have given one of the most accurate one. The first 60K is probably 3.5, the remaining is 2.5, stuff like that, right? Thank you so much for you guys giving me the comments. And if let's say if you guys don't have any other further comments, I probably will end my Facebook live. And once again, this is my new series, which is Ask Gaynor. If you guys have any other further questions, you can probably drop me a message or PM me, right? Then at the end of the day, probably I will also help you guys to answer as well. Okay, Jasper, what if HDB loan the interest is 2.6, which is more than the OA interest of 2.5? Yes, you are right. Right, Jasper, you are right. HDB is 2.6, CPF is 2.5. So you must understand one thing. At the end of the day, you must understand that if let's say you have a HDB loan of 2.6%, right? And then the other hand, you earn a 2.5. Correct? So this is the scenario. HDB loan, you need to pay 2.6. CPF, you earn 2.5. So the thing is that you will think that I just want to quickly clear because the HDB loan is 2.6% interest, right? So that's why you will get all your $500,000, let's say 500,000 of your ordinary account to probably just pay off the loan, right? But at the end of the day, you must understand one thing. You still have to pay the 2.5 back to your OA. You still have to pay that 2.5, I repeat, back to your ordinary account. But if let's say you pay the 2.6 and then you earn the 2.5 from the OA, actually the difference is just 0.1, if you get where I'm coming from, right? So we have to understand one part you are earning, one part you are losing. Although you are paying off your HDB loan, everything, and you think that you don't have to pay the 2.6, but you actually still have to pay back the 2.5 to your ordinary account. So indirectly, it's just paying back that 2.5, if you get where I'm coming from, right? But if you don't choose to pay off the HDB loan, you have the 2.5 in your OA, you're earning, that is plus 2.5. The other one is minus 2.6. The difference is actually 0.1. So if you get where I'm coming from, I rather have a place where I can earn, rather than everything all put back in the pay off, and then I still have to pay a whole 2.5. Right? So I hope I answer your question, Jasper. Right? Okay. Will this live be saved in my FB? Yes. One thing I just have to share with you guys, my whole entire Facebook live videos will be in my Facebook page. So if you guys are free as and when you want to refer back, please do so. And in fact, I've also a lot of other videos as well, which I think is really beneficial. Okay. So with that, if let's say you guys don't have any other questions, I hope you guys enjoy this Facebook live, right? And you have other questions, just have to post in my this comments or in my page as well, right? With that, hope you guys enjoy. Give me more likes, help me to share. And with that, thank you so much. Have a great Sunday and goodbye. Bye bye.